Hello, welcome to Inside the Dragons for the November and December edition. We have a lot of fun-filled things in this edition. First, we have Scripps Career Day. We also have Veterans Day at Orion Oaks and Waldon. Our LOHS band finished 4th in the state. We also have phases visiting apartments. And then we have robotics in elementary, middle school, and the unified team at the high school. And then it has been a festive December with Pine Tree Lions Club Party, Blanche Sims caroling at McLaren, and other district holiday celebrations. I hope you enjoy this edition of Inside the Dragons.
When Scripps media specialist Rebecca Lowe and teacher Elizabeth Raymond began planning the school's career day, just having visitors was not enough. They wanted to make it memorable, so they created a theme, the Career Readiness Rodeo. As the students would envision their success in the future, many students joined in with hats and bandanas and flannel to lean into the theme.
We're really excited. We're doing a career readiness rodeo with a Western theme, of course. And the idea is we want students to see how what they're learning in school connects to actual careers out there. So each of the presenters is not only talking about their career, but how the skills they learn in school are used every day on the job. So we really want to make school relevant. We first started by reaching out to our contacts and seeing who we could bring in to do this. You know, our husbands' companies and then our friends' companies and all of that. Once we had all our speakers aligned, it took probably a good 20 hours of work with spreadsheets, color coding to try to make sure that every single kid got their first top choice, and then breaking them into groups and making sure that every single speaker had lots of different student groups coming to them. So it was a big endeavor, but we've learned a lot of lessons so we can make this work more smoothly next year. The students are really hyped about it, and we're hoping that they come out with some really cool experiences and some new ideas about careers that they didn't think that they were interested in.
Summary of the job, kind of what's going on, what do they do in the job, and then DLA skills used. Yes? You're going to be talking with the person about it, and then you're going to have an opportunity to guess what kind of school skills they also use in their job. You can write that down. There are going to be 6 stations that you visit that are presentations. There is one station called a break. That is up here, and the time to use the bathroom.
After receiving their instructions, the students followed rotations as they met with experts in multiple industries, including LOCS Superintendent Heidi Mercer and School Resource Officer Adam Stoyak.
Gunnar, what are kind of the things you're learning from Career Day today?
I'm just learning what other people do in their lives and how they do it.
And why were you interested in learning about all this stuff?
To open up opportunities in my life to see if I want to do what they do.
So when you're looking through the list and everything, what were the ones that stood out to you?
I really like the detectives. I think it's an interesting type of thing to learn.
To have this in your school that Ms. Lowe and Ms. Riemann put together, is that something that is good to expose you to different things?
Yes, it's very good to expose everyone to different things, to learn other things.
Laying the groundwork for future opportunities is part of the LOCS Career Readiness Plan. Making it fun along the way simply enhances the engagement. On Veterans Day, Orion Oaks Elementary honored the veterans with a ceremony, celebrating them and thanking them for their service. The veterans invited each had a tie to a student or staff member in the school, allowing there to be a real connection visible.
Day Assembly, we are so glad to have you here with us today.
When Francis Scott Key wrote the Star-Spangled Banner almost 200 years ago, he called America the land of the free and the brave. Those words are as true today as they are back then.
History that begins with the end of World War I. Veterans Day was originally called Armistice Day in 1919 by the President Woodrow Wilson. However, the name of this holiday was changed in 1954 by the President Dwight D. Eisenhower.
The full school celebrated the veterans as they stood when their branch of service was called.
Who served in the United States Navy.
The students and veterans were recognized with a memorable video.
For being here today. It is an absolute privilege to be talking in front of them, but also to see how many people lives are touched by members of our military family. And I mentioned last year, for those of you who are here, how important they are to us and what they do on an every single day basis. We spent a lot of time talking about the Positivity Project, and for those who are our guests, it's a number of character traits that exemplify the kind of people that we want our students to become and to grow up to be them. You exemplify those for us.
The morning concluded with a special breakfast for the veterans and their families. At Waldon Middle School, the veterans of foreign wars visited to talk to the students about their experiences and take questions. By honoring and celebrating the veterans, celebrating those who helped protect our country is an important value in the Lake Orion Community Schools.
No problem.
My name is Mr. Hubbard. Jim is normal for me. I served in Vietnam in 1966 and 1967. I was wounded there, you can see. Lost my hip and lost my arm. They replaced the hip. I've had a hip replacement 5 times on this right hip. But it is what it is. I survived the war. That's the most important part, was surviving the war in Vietnam.
I'm Marvin Petty. I served at the same time actually as Jim did in Vietnam, but I was in the Navy. I was on a heavy cruiser. I have a hat with my ship's name on it. I was on the USS Boston. It was a CAG-1, they call it. That stands for Heavy Cruiser Guided Missile. We're the first guided missile cruiser that ever existed. We did a lot of our work up in a place called Subic Bay. From there we went over to the Gulf of Tonkin, which you've probably heard of, and along the DMZ, which I'm sure you've heard of the DMZ.
The Lake Orion High School Marching Band returned to the state finals and continued its extraordinary run of success among the state's best programs. Arriving hours before taking the field at Ford Field in Detroit, the band practiced across the street from the arena and waited its turn to enter before putting forth its best effort with a fade-to-white performance. With its 4th-place finish, the LOHS band again showed it sets a standard as a model across Michigan.
With a score of 87.7, the Lake Orion High School Marching Band.
At Pine Tree Center, the Phases students work daily to gain life skills for their future. One of the new aspects created for them this year was a trip to nearby apartments to learn about the rental process.
If you are needing some extra, so
then they would email you back and say,
yeah, and thank you for visiting, and then you can ask questions back and forth, and so You'll have one of our business cards that you'll be able to take home that will have our phone number and everything on it.
Did I get one as well?
Oh, you want a business card? Or do you have extra ones to give them all? It's $1.75 to wash and $1.75 to dry. You can use a wash card, which we can give you a card and then you can come in here and keep reloading it. Or the better thing, an app that you have on your phone so you can always reload the money from your app. And I like the app because you can put your stuff in the machines, go back to your apartment, and it will show you on the app.
The plan was just to get them to learn about the process of renting an apartment because we're working on budgeting so that they kind of see everything that's included. We also just want them to learn how to interact with adults and fill out paperwork, and just so they can get a good idea of what is available to them in their area.
They have a lot of questions. Are these things that you prepped with them, or they're just coming up with on their own?
We prepped it before we had a meeting this morning, and we talked about all these questions and why they were important and brainstormed some questions that we could ask.
The students walked the grounds of the apartment complex and entered an apartment to examine it and see where they could possibly live.
Tell me what you think about this.
This apartment's awesome.
Yeah? Coming to see an apartment and seeing everything, is that something that you thought would be interesting for you?
Yeah, this would be interesting. This would be a nice apartment.
And you're looking around, what are you thinking about when you're in this room?
I'm thinking about putting my stuff somewhere and putting my bed and other furniture in this room or in the next room.
The fall robotics season focuses on the younger students and their competitive journey. With teams at every elementary and 4 throughout the middle schools, 1 at each middle school and a combined group, it was a busy fall of competitions. The unified robotics team at Lake Orion High School combined special education students with their general education peers to participate in robotics. LOHS teacher Eric Mearshart guides the team as they work to build robots at a few fall meetings. That culminates with a competition at Northville High School. Because there are only a few schools in the state that compete, those schools break into small teams to give more opportunity. The Northville Robotics students lead the event.
It has been a great addition to the Unified Sports program and has been so impactful in our community. Unified Robotics introduces a STEM world to the Unified program by matching first robotics peers with Special Olympic athletes to work together as a team to build a Lego racing robot. Teams were able to collaborate in designing, building, and programming robots using their kits and programming softwares. We are thrilled to be here today to compete and show the hard work that each team has done.
The students engaged in activities, and they waited to compete. Then they visited the judges to show their robots and explain their work.
Mr. M. Jr. hanging off the back. Always hanging off the back. And then anything else on here you guys want to tell them about?
We programmed it last week.
Whoa!
Wow.
Well, how did you do that? What did you do?
With the computer? With that computer.
Okay.
Did you guys like going on the computer?
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
They practiced and then competed with their robots.
This is our third year of the Unified Robotics program up here at Lake Orion High School. We started off with 4, last year we went to 6, and this year we're actually all the way up to 10, so it is the largest group that we've had so far as we continue to grow. And it's really great to see all of our students have the opportunity to express themselves in another way outside of your typical Special Olympic type event. So our students are able to learn how to overcome hurdles, obstacles. They get to go ahead and use their creativity to build something. And then our competition here today is about recognizing all of that and getting the sense of competition against some of the other high schools. The first year we had 1, last year 2, and then this year we went all the way up to 3 teams. And you know, we're probably the second largest high school here participating in terms of total teams. So it's really great that even though they're on these different teams, they're all still here rooting each other on.
Throughout December, the Lake Orion Community Schools students found ways to celebrate the holiday season. At Pine Tree Center, the Lake Orion Lions Club continued its annual tradition of bringing in a lunch for the students, dressing up like Santa, Mrs. Claus, and elves, and providing an individual gift for each student. The celebration is continuously a highlight for the students and staff. The Blanche Sims Elementary students took time out of the last week of school before the winter break to visit the McLaren facility in Lake Orion and walk the halls caroling. This was a holiday tradition years ago but had been on hiatus and resumed after a number of years away. The residents clapped and cheered as the students passed through each floor and past their rooms. At Stadium Drive Elementary, Miss Hynes enhanced the spirit with a few dress-up days, getting in an elf costume for a rival, on one day driving around in a golf cart, and having an inflatable gingerbread assistant, and another day being taped to the wall as students entered the building to their surprise. The final month of the year provided many opportunities for LOHS students to celebrate.
We will see you at our next edition of Inside the Dragons.
Inside the Dragons is produced by the Lake Orion Community Schools in partnership with Orion Neighborhood Television. For up-to-date news and information about the Lake Orion Schools, visit our website at lakeorionschools.org and watch us on Comcast Educational Access Channel 22 and AT&T UVerse Channel 99.